Hello everyone and welcome back to Bacon. Also welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. We're continuing on with Waltzes Are Out. The king and I sit on the floor with our hands tied behind our backs. Oh, I forgot how intense things were when we left it yesterday. There are two knights standing by the door to watch over us. I look at the king, who remains as quiet and solemn as before. He has been so calm. Does he have a plan? Why is it that you chose to stay with me? I am surprised when he finally breaks the silence. Because there are questions I need answers to. Besides, I cannot just leave you here. I have many things I need to ask you. King Gennaro falls silent as he stares at me. The gold of his eyes clearly reflects my own. I never realized how similar our eyes were. Is it true? Are you really my daughter? Really? You have to ask still? Yes, I was given the fairy tale curse and turned into a peasant. My title was stolen from me and from the minds of the people. No one remembers who I am anymore. Cinderella? How did you know? I've noticed the glass slipper necklace on your neck, but the other slipper seems to be missing a piece. A piece? I look down and stare at the second slipper. My eyes widen when I notice that the piece is bigger. She's getting there! But when did this happen? I consider and recall the moment I broke WALTZ's curse. Was it when I broke WALTZ's curse? This means I only have one more deed left to complete, but my birthday is tomorrow. Are you alright? Yes, I am. I'm worried. You've been through much today. Try and get some rest. You must reserve your energy. I'm unsure what he means, but either way, there's no way I could possibly sleep now. On the floor, bound. Yeah, it's a little hard to sleep. At least it's what I tell myself, but as minutes pass by, I feel my eyes getting heavier. Eventually, I drift into a dreamless sleep. Lucette, you must wake up. I blink a few times, and when I come to, I find that I'm leaning on the king's shoulder. I fell asleep. The king glances back to the door, his eyes narrowed slightly as he takes a deep breath. It is time to go. What? I turn toward the front doors and realize that the knights guarding the room are missing. They will be back soon. We must hurry. I am surprised when the king pulls out of the ropes that were binding him. He holds a small knife in his hands. So Gennaro can occasionally be pretty useful. How long has he been out of his bindings? When did you free yourself? I think I've been sorely underestimated. I've been trained just as well as the knights. It goes without saying that I could get myself out of bindings. I am not so weak that I need to depend on others to protect me. Sounds like something I would say. But where did you get the knife? They made sure to take anything we had that could have been a weapon. Would it suffice to say that I pulled it from a hidden spot? Not many people think to look in a person's boots, especially if they think that they're, fluffy and not really capable of much. The king leans down to cut my bindings, then lowers himself to the ground. His fingers brush the floor. What are you doing? Finding the keyhole. Ah, here we are. He pulls a small key from his pocket and fits into a crevice in the floor. The floor gives a gentle, audible rumble. The king pulls the tile from the floor, revealing a hidden staircase. There was a hidden staircase here? In the floor? An escape route, if one were ever needed. Only I know of its existence. Now we must go before they return. And that kind of explains why he was trying to get everyone else out, because he had his own escape route. But in which case, why the speech of, I can't abandon, I will be abandoning. Whatever. I nod and follow after him. The king sets the panel in place as we descend down into darkness. The floor rumbles once more as the hidden pathway closes behind us. Both of us walk in silence for some time. The only sound we hear are the echoes of our footsteps. I am behind the king, staring at his back. He seems to have already recovered from his earlier injury. Or could he just be pretending that he is alright? How is your back? It doesn't hurt as much now. Thank you for asking. Silence ensues once again. This is getting awkward. Maybe I should say something. Okay. Yes, good gravy. Let's see. Well, it's getting awkward. Maybe I should say something. So she kind of wants to say something, but she's probably not sure what. So let's try staying silent first. I do not even know what to say. I am sorry. I am surprised when the king suddenly speaks. For what? I'm not sure. I have this feeling that I've done something to hurt you. Have I? It was what you did not do that hurt me. I was a bad father, wasn't I? I've been wondering for a while. If you are indeed my daughter, why do you address me by title? Do you not call me father? She's called you father a couple times. I stop in my tracks and turn away. It has been a year since I called you that. You were never there for me, so I stopped considering you my father. A deafening silence falls upon us. I am sorry. Can you tell me why you distanced yourself from me? The king looks at me silently with something like regret in his eyes. I want to slap myself for my foolish question. My apologies. I forgot that you do not remember me. You know, I have learned many things since I have been cursed, but the things I have learned do not answer my questions. I had thought that by staying here I would finally chance upon some answers, some truth. I've always thought that only Mother loved me because you were never there for me. I'm sorry I cannot give you the answers you seek. Well, I can understand why you would hate me. I am a witch's daughter, after all. Hildur, do you know what transpired in the past? You mean with Mother? Hildur threatened to kill the person I loved if I did not marry her. She threatened to kill Ophelia. The king looks down, his face contorted with anger. Parfait said that Mother already broke their rules long before she took over the kingdom. Her hands were already stained with blood. I won't let any more of my loved ones die in her hands. I had no choice back then. I married her because I refused to let her hurt Ophelia. I hated that woman for ruining my life and my kingdom. I know. I recall when he thanked WALTZ for saving the kingdom. Can you tell me who WALTZ is? WALTZ? He was Hildur's apprentice. He was powerful, considered the second strongest among the witches. Really? He was a child prodigy. That is why Hildur ordered his family kill what? When they refused to give him to her. WALTZ didn't find out about that until much later. Wow. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh, poor WALTZ. Mother killed WALTZ's family? I cannot believe this. Just how many lives did she take? Poor WALTZ. Ashes. When he did find out, he betrayed Hildur. He divulged her plans to the fairies and helped them defeat her. I gave him a copy of the key to the secret tunnel so that he could deliver it to the Luce's bearer. So that is how Parfait got the copy of the key. Didn't WALTZ always go a little bit silent whenever she asked about that before? That explains it. If that is in fact how my memory is working, if that is how it actually happened. Then Hildur cursed him for betraying her. I do not know how you two know each other, but it is fairly obvious to me that he is loyal to you and cares about you. He was the type of person that expressed loyalty plainly, so I can tell. I do not know why the king decided to comment on such a thing, but my cheeks are suddenly warm. You care for him. Do I? He is a good man. How do we even get to this conversation? The two of us are still walking when the king suddenly stops and I nearly bump into him. Oh, did I get I don't think I got a jewel just now. So we're gonna save right here and I'm gonna load here. Yes. I'm gonna go with say something. I cannot stand the silence any longer and speak up before I lose my nerve. I am sorry. Why are you apologizing? Because I have done nothing but cause you trouble. If this is the correct one, I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be honest. The other one, he was apologizing and like, even though he can't remember things, he was still taking responsibility for it, and he also understood why things could have gone as awry as they did between the two of them. They were bonding and it was a sweet moment. He was taking responsibility and now she's the one apologizing. And I don't think I care for that. She doesn't actually have anything to apologize for. Mom told me once that when I disappeared, the king was the happiest he'd ever been. Because I was not there. Actually, she does need to apologize to that maid that she was really nasty to. Oh, it was a niece. Yeah, so she still needs to apologize to a niece. But she doesn't have any reason to apologize to this jerk. Because I was not there. I'm sure if you had been given the chance to forget me or not, you would have chosen to forget me. It was the... Oh, that is not okay. No, it feels like I have been the cause of your pain, not the other way around. Much better. I feel as if I should be the one apologizing. I have been wondering for a while. If you were indeed my daughter, why do you address me by title? Okay. Oh, here we are. This should bring us into a passage that leads us into the gardens. I follow his gaze to a rusty door. He slowly approaches the door. Stay close to me. I nod at him. He turns the knob and pulls open the door. That's... The king and I can only gape at the sight in front of us. It is the last thing we expect to see behind the door. Mother? Oh, so that's where they've been keeping the crystal. Okay. Chapter 7. I feel that I cannot trust my eyes, because it is indeed Mother standing before us. Uh-oh. Oh no, she's gonna get revived in this one too, isn't she? She looks the same as when I last saw her, like she had been just sleeping all of this time. What is Hilda doing here? Is that the Crystallum Tenebrarum? She looks like she has been trapped inside the crystal, but how? No, she passed on 4 years ago. This is impossible. A lovely surprise, isn't it? Uh-oh. The king immediately moves to stand in front of me. Sir Mithros saunters toward us with a wide smile on his face, looking unperturbed. Isn't she exquisite? Even in slumber, she is still so beautiful. What is the meaning of this, Mithros? When Mithros does not answer, the king reaches for his knife and frowns. What exactly are you and Alcaster planning? I'm offended that you are associating the two of us. My goals are different from Alcaster's. My only wish is to see my queen again. Alcaster is the one who is after your throne. What are you going to do with Mother? I plan to revive her. What? I stare at Sir Mithros, shocked. Revive Mother? Is it even possible to bring back the dead? Are we gonna have another one of those things? Oh no. She's still alive, dear princess. My queen is only sleeping. Her link to the Tenebrarum has allowed her to survive all of these years. She has infused the last of her power with the crystal and merged with it. She was wise, yet even as its light grows dimmer, so too does the light of her life come close to being extinguished. Once you have fully accepted your role as the new bearer of the Crystallum Tenebrarum, her link with it will be severed and she will die. That's, oh, so on all the other routes where you don't come across her, that's why she's not there, is because the moment that, Lucette becomes the next bearer, because she's not there to physically, say, give back her life to the crystal the way that she did in the last route, she just disappears. Okay. So if she was there, that's kind of creepy to think that she was there the whole time. We just barely missed her, though. That's why I need you, princess. I need your powers to bring her back to life. What? On your 18th birthday, you will inherit the crystal's powers, and with that power, you will revive my queen. Isn't this what you've always wanted? To have your beloved mother back? It is true that I have always wished for Mother to come back. But Delora and Parfait told me the truth, and now that is the last thing that I want. What if Mother ruins the kingdom once again? I will not let that happen. I will not let my kingdom fall into darkness again. The king charges toward Mithros with a knife in his hand. You silly, silly person! But Sir Mithros easily sends him flying backward with a flick of his wrist and a magic spell. The knife falls to the ground just a few feet from where I stand. Your Majesty! I am about to run to him when Varg steps out of the darkness of the room and points a sword at the king's throat. Don't move, princess, otherwise my hand might slip. Varg! I freeze in my spot. Has he been here this whole time? Now, princess, you have an important decision to make. Help me revive the queen and save the king, or run away and he dies. My life is nothing compared to the lives that will be lost if Hilda is brought back. I would gladly trade my life for any of the lives she would steal. Foolish king, you cannot gamble with your life when it is no longer in your hands. Sir Mithros growls at the king before facing me once again. He flashes a crooked smile. How about it, princess? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. I want to decline. Like, if I were in this situation, as cold-hearted as it would be, I would be forced to leave because it's true, especially with everything that I had learned. I would be forced to leave because that is going to be the worst of it. And then I would have to come back and take back the castle and everything. Even if that meant that he would die, because in the end, unfortunately, I'm a Vulcan at heart. What can I say? The needs of the many. But I have a feeling I'm supposed to agree. Oh boy. I'm too hyperactive to be a Vulcan. I'd probably be like a Romulan, but still. Oh, good gravy. I don't know. Darn it. I'm gonna decline first, because I really don't know. I cannot let Sir Mithros kill the king, but I cannot let him revive Mother either. If I can just improvise, I might be able to hold them, long enough for some backup to arrive. I catch a glimpse of the king's knife, which is just a few feet from me, when an idea strikes me. Waltz, Perfet, Delora, they have to come for us. I refuse. What? Sir Mithros looks at me irritated. The king, however, looks relieved. The king's blood shall be on your hands then. Varg? I quickly lean down to pick up the knife and hold it to my neck. Princess, what are you planning to do with that? Put that down before you hurt yourself. That's the point, bro! Let the king go or I will kill myself. I know you need me to revive Mother. Ha! Do not take me for a fool, Princess. I know you do not have the courage to die a martyr. Annoyance simmers within me. Oh? Are you sure of that? I swallow as I press the blade to my neck. I feel the sharp edge cut through the skin, but the blade does not go deep enough to hit any vital parts. I cringe as my body is racked with pain and tears blur my vision. I am scared. You fool! You fool! Sir Mithros' face is pale as he attempts to step toward me. Now you see my resolve. Let the king go. Mithros. Mithros curses under his breath, his outstretched hand clenching into a tight fist before he draws it back. It's working. I feel myself relax, but my hope is short-lived and foolish. Mithros casts a spell and the knife goes hot in my hand. A scream escapes my mouth as I fall to the floor and clutch at my injured hand. Uh-oh. You've been a very bad princess. Your mother would be disappointed in you. I glare at Mithros, but he only clicks his tongue, face stern. This would have been so much more pleasant if you'd chosen to work with me, princess. I will get what I want, princess. Even if I must break you to revive my queen, I will do it. I will suffer the consequences for it later. Mithros turns to Varg. Varg, put them both in the cells. I take a few steps back as Varg approaches us. All I manage to do is back myself into the wall. Varg looks at me, amused like a cat toying with a mouse. He takes another step, but I do not get to see the movements he makes afterward. A bright light engulfs the area, eliciting an agitated hiss from Mithros. Magic? But how? When the light clears, Varg is still standing, his eyes on my feet. I follow his gaze. Oh, the slippers! My shoes have been replaced with two beautiful glass slippers, which will make it that much harder to escape. I broke my curse? What did I do? The king looks at me, his eyes hazy. He opens his mouth to speak, but then stops when Mithros comes to hover just above him, his expression fixed into a glare. Oh, how charming. But your broken curse will not help you now, princess. Now be a good girl and allow Varg to escort you to your cell. Varg chases one of the prison cells and locks us up. This time be a good girl and don't try to escape. Why does everyone keep wanting to say, be a good girl? Me. I scowl at him. He only smirks in response. Feisty as always. He flashes me a lopsided smile before taking his leave. Better believe I'm feisty. Lucette. The king quickly takes my hand in his and pulls me down to the floor to sit beside him. He reaches into his pocket, then withdraws a handkerchief. What is he doing? He neatly folds the cloth and leans toward me. I cringe back on reflex. He gingerly presses the handkerchief onto my injured skin. I cringe as I feel the pain. It was correct! I was just questioning, did I see a gem? I am so sorry, Lucette. Your injury is my fault. You have nothing to apologize for. I did it to save you, and yet here we are. I am the one that owes you an apology. I turn my gaze away in shame. The king cups my cheek and turns my head so that I am facing him. The gesture is so gentle it moves me to tears. A father should be the one to protect his child. Always. His face is twisted in pain as he stares at me, eyes brimming with tears. I see the recognition in his eyes. Having reunited with my father like this makes me realize that I still cared for him. Please forgive me. I already have. The words take a great weight off my heart. It's as if the ice that has been shrouding it for so long is finally melting away. Without another word, my father throws his arms around me, trapping me in a warm embrace. This is the first time he has ever hugged me. I feel tears brimming in my eyes, and soon I am crying as I bury my face into my father's shoulder. I am sorry. Please forgive me, my dear daughter. We stay like this for what seems a lifetime, leaning against each other and crying, silently asking for forgiveness. Aww, that's pretty sweet. Once we are more relaxed, I sit down beside my father and tell him what has transpired since I was cursed. His expression becomes darker with every word that I speak. You have suffered so much, and I have not been able to erase that suffering in any way. No, my life as a commoner showed me things I had never appreciated before. Oh my good gravy. It was more fulfilling than my life in the palace. Was it now? The moment I became cursed might be the first moment I started truly living. I don't think that's true. Considering the moment you were cursed, you were homeless and nearly mugged and all kinds of really terrible things and just barely avoided another friggin'... Oh my goodness. I take a deep breath as I contemplate the question that has been in my heart all this time. Your Majesty, have you ever loved me? I am terrified, but still I force myself to look right at the king. I've always loved you, Lucette. I value you more than my own life. You're my everything, my daughter. I blink at him, my eyes filled with tears. This would be so much sweeter, except he was so busy trying to force her to integrate into his new family and just ignoring her and neglecting her even when he could have been there for her. Just sad. I mean, I'm glad they're making up, though. That's pretty cute. I'm glad that they got to a point where they can talk about these things, and I'm hoping that they do talk about them completely at some point. I've waited so long to hear those words from you. If you loved me, why were you not there for me? There you go. Why did you let Mother do this to me? Was it because I was her daughter? It is true that you are her daughter, but you are also mine. I don't even remember how we... His voice trails off and he avoids my eyes. He sighs softly. I was put under a spell that night. Months later, you came along. I thought I could never bring myself to love you, not when you were the witch's daughter. And you were apparently a victim, like more than we thought you were. I was wondering about that, like how the conception night happened, but hearing that is just, oh, that's horrifying. They're just kind of glossing over it a little bit, but that's horrible. Oh my gosh, this lady, there's no repenting for any of this crap. But you were different. She was darkness and you were light. Like I said, I had been thinking about how the conception night went and how, like, I do know that, like, a lot of nobles in the past, you know, they just kind of did it and it didn't mean anything and they forced themselves to put themselves through it. And it was still terrible that they had to do that, but it was still a thing that was pretty normal practice. This guy was forced. No wonder he was behaving that way. I feel so bad for Lucette, but I also feel really bad for Gennaro right now because, oh my good gravy, in every way. And then she corrupted you. Hilda forbade me to get close to you. She was afraid that I would influence you to betray her. She told me that she would steal you away completely if I ever approached you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing my own daughter, so I did as she demanded. I had to watch you grow up from afar. I had to push you away. Oh, and that explains that, that really sad memory where he told her to just kind of go away when she was a kid. Oh! The only thing I could do for you was help you celebrate your birthday every year. The birthday surprises every year, the letters that led to the secret birthday rooms. Those surprises were always the highlight of my birthday. This whole time, it was you who planned those surprises? I cannot let you know that it was I who planned those surprises. The beautiful smile that you had on your face when you saw all of your gifts was more than enough. I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm really sorry for everything, Lucette, for not being a good father, for not being there for you, for pushing you away. So, including how she got Delora, he's the one that was giving her dolls every year and she thought it was her mom. So her mom didn't even do that. I feel bad now. I mean, he still wasn't the greatest father the last 4 years, but at the same time, it's like, the more I find out, the more I'm just like, yeah. After your mother died, he pauses and shakes his head. After I thought she died, I thought I might make it up to you, but I failed miserably as your father. You were already so far away from me. I tried to get close to you, but I drove you away. It was never explained that he tried to get close to her, though, to be fair. He said he had just decided that nothing I do will blah blah blah. So acknowledging that, yeah, he did the thing, but also wasn't willing to do anything to fix it. Oh, but I just... Okay, I had to take a second. I'm back. I drove you away. I do not blame you. I think back to all those times when he tried to talk to me or approach me. I would always walk away or refuse to talk to him. Because I hated him. I was convinced he didn't love me. I tried, but I tried too late and not hard enough. I should have tried to better understand. Oh, yes! This is what I was asking for! Oh. I should have tried harder to see what your mother had done to you. I've never expected any sort of forgiveness, and yet you still gave it to me. But now I'm at a loss as to what I can do to make it up to you. But you're here now, right? I smile at him hesitantly, and he smiles back. He leans forward to place a kiss on my forehead as he wipes away a tear. I love you, Lucette. I love you too, Father. Yes, Ashes, it's an emotional moment. He rests his hand on my cheek. Allow me to make it up to you. Allow me to protect you. What? You cannot bring her back, Lucette. There would be too many consequences. But if I refuse to help them, they will kill you. Father shakes his head and smiles. If I have to give up my life to give you and our kingdom a brighter future, then so be it. Oh no! We already know this game doesn't mind killing off characters. Princess, it's almost time to go. Father moves to stand in front of me. I won't let you take her. Borg doesn't answer. He silently taps his cane to the ground, creating the same energy forces before, sending Father back into the wall with an invisible force. Father! Oh no. They can't kill him though, right? Father staggers back to his feet and gazes at me with a pained expression. Don't do this, Lucette. I ball my hands into tight fists. I have no other choice. I am sorry, Father, but I cannot let them kill you. I try to smile at him reassuringly before walking away with Varg. At least still hesitate. Take your time. Stall! The last thing I hear is him calling my name before Varg closes the door and there is silence in the hallway. Okay. King's still alive. King's still alive. I am once again standing in front of Mother's crystallized form. It's time, Princess. Now put your hands over the crystal. I stare at my mother's crystallized form in silence, but fear takes hold of my body. Time is of the essence, Princess. I do as commanded and set my hands on the surface of the crystal. Oh no. Moments later, the clock strikes 12 and my body suddenly grows heavy. A strange power begins to flow through me. What is happening? I attempt to pull my hands back, but to no avail. Not only are they heavy, but they feel as if they are glued to the crystal. Even as I struggle to move, I feel my energy dimming as the crystal grows brighter and brighter. Yes! Yes! He's done that before. I blink a few times as tears begin to sting my eyes. I bite my lip in an attempt to keep myself from falling unconscious, and the effort only makes me taste blood. Lucette! Waltz! At last! If only we had stalled a little longer. Hello! Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch a glimpse of Waltz by the door, his hands glowing as he prepares to cast a spell. Waltz! Waltz's eyes meet mine, his expression contorting in anger as he turns to glare at Mithros. This is madness, Myth. You're too late, Waltz. Just a little bit more and the energy transfer will be complete. And my queen will be free from her prison. I won't let you do this. Waltz releases his spell at Mithros, who quickly conjures a shield to protect himself. I feel so weak. I feel my knees giving out. The next thing I know, Waltz stands beside me with the dagger. He drives the edge of the dagger into the Tinderbarum surface, cracking it slightly. And then I am free. Waltz catches me in his arms just before my body hits the floor. Stay with me, Lucette. My body relaxes when I feel his arms around me. I squint up at his face, but his features are blurry. I have to blink a few times to clear my vision. Okay. Hate to do it, but I'm gonna end things here. We'll continue on with the drama next time. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am Bacon, and this so far has been Cinderella Phenomenon, Waltz's Route. We are in chapter 7 or 8, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!